Hello everybody, I hope you're going well. Today I will show you a very strong strategical tip in order to improve your chess strategy. So this trick is actually very important if you want to improve your chess ratings. But for example, at my rating around 22, 2300, this type of trick is still very important. So this trick is actually um, very known, but if you don't know it, you will actually get surprised. So in that position, the position that I want to show you can be reached through many move orders. Now I just use the Italian game, but the idea is pretty simple. Bishop g5 is the main move. We are playing on the pin. If you want to know more about pins, just let me know in the comment section. Um, but this strategical idea doesn't require the pin for the moment. Actually, black can also just solve the problem with the pins by playing h6. Let's say we play a bad move like a6. White can just go knight d5 and use the pin to actually destroy the black pawn structure, and black is already facing a lot of troubles. So in that position, after bishop g5, black should go h6, and after bishop h4, by the way, bishop f6, queen takes, and the position is all right. The queen would just go back, and black is all fine with bishop pair. And if bishop h4, we go bishop e6 in order to use the same strategical idea that we just saw for the black pieces, but with the white pieces. The idea that I want to show you isn't related with bishop g5. The move is actually bishop e3. Why is this move strong? The reason why this move is pretty interesting is because if it is, again, white's turn to move, we will just take the bishop, destroy the pawn structure, and play on the dark squares with the queen, go knight d5, and the pawn structure is just very weak, which means that in every endgame, white is doing fine, because the pawn structure is actually pretty weak. That is why we have to know a move for black. There is bishop e3 and bishop b6. Bishop e3 is the move that I want to show you, because in that position, what we have actually achieved is that we do have an open file. We have the open f file for the rook. But why is it strong, would you ask me? The reason why it is strong is because the rook is having a nice square. We use the rook in order to castle, so it means that the king is perfectly protected with the rook, and we are also putting a lot of pressure on the f file. And with that, we have one more pawn in the center, which means that, let's say black goes, okay, let's just play some random moves. Now, if it is white's turn to move, white can and will actually go d4. And what it changes to the position is that after pawn takes, we can take back with a pawn, and we have more pawns in the center, and then we will potentially go e5, open up more lines, and start to attack the f7 square with the rook, the bishop on c4, and the knight on g5, and potentially the queen on h5. To give you a very simple example, let's say takes, knight e8, knight g5, we are attacking everything. Let's say, just to show you some moves, let's say, for example, that we have to protect the square. Let's say we go bishop e6. We can go, for example, queen h5. We are threatening checkmate. You have to stop checkmate by, for example, playing h6. But we can already play knight takes there, or even knight takes f7. Or let's say knight e6. The idea is that now we do have a very clear attack because of what? Because of all the connection that we have with our pieces. And that is, I showed you a very primitive way to attack, but that is actually, a plan. And to show you a plan, you have to see some primitive moves. Of course, even if black does something better than rook b8 or than h6, the position remains the same. We want e5 to open up more lines. And that is why the strategical idea is actually very important. To compare the strategical idea with, for example, what black did, let's say we reach a position in which both of the players have something like that. In order to evaluate this position, we have to know who is going to play d4 or d5 first. If white is faster with a d4 move than black is with a d5 pawn push, that means that white is potentially better. For example, if now d4 takes, we are all right. We have more pawns in the center, and if d5, e5, we are attacking, and you notice this very aggressive position, queen d2, rook e8, rook e1, knight g5. That is not a joke, or h4 to go knight g5 and knight e6. there are some weaknesses, and e6 is a lot weaker than the d4 pawn. Let's say after d4, d5 is played, now the e5 pawn is hanging, and this is not good. Okay, knight e4 is possible, but we can just take, and notice that everything is super duper weak. Everything is weak. If takes, we can even just go for queen takes, and this endgame is of course better for us because e4 is very, very weak, and if rook d8, c3, and everything is perfectly protected, okay, we still have to play the game, but because the pawn is weak, we can just get the pawn, in a very, very easy way. But okay, we can even, just protect with the rook, and then go rook, king f2, king e3, and get the pawn, and position is simply over. So this is the reason why I showed you the strategical idea, because you have to know that it exists, and once you have everything, because I told you everything you needed to know about the strategical plan and strategical position. Of course, if you have any more questions, just let me know in the comment section, but I can guarantee you that the knowledge that you just gained from that video, your rating is going to increase a lot. Of course, if you want to know more about chess, just subscribe to the channel and go check out the most recent uploads. There are a lot of chess analysis videos, so hopefully you do enjoy the videos available on this channel. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions if you have any more questions to ask me. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the future. Take care.